Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the virtual breakfast sessions. I'm Larry Sashin, and today we're doing culinary education leaders with Florida International University. But before we introduce our guest, let's thank the people who are paying our bills. Ed Flanagan and the Error Group. Well, how many times do I have to say this over and over again? If you're tired of wasting money spending money on your employee benefits and employee taxes. Call Ed Flanagan and the Error Group. They have the cafeteria 125 plan put out by the IRS that'll help you claw back some of that money and give some benefits to some of your people. So, Ed Flanagan, the Error Group, and back to our show. John, it's good to have you here. But so the people know who you are, why don't you tell them who you are and what you do?
Well, thanks so much, Larry, for that, for the invitation, first of all. And then I'm looking forward to our discussion today with you and Fred. It's an honor to be here. Um, for myself, my name is John Noble Masi. I'm currently the lead culinary faculty at the Chaplin School of Hospitality and Tourism Management at Florida International University. I've been in that role. I've been teaching at the school now the past 11 years. I've been in the lead culinary faculty for the past 8 of those years, and they've been amazing. I had a background that started off as a culinary student, graduated from the Culinary Institute of America with an associate's degree. I am a two-time alum at uh, Florida International University. So I got my bachelor's in hospitality and my master's in business, both from FIU. So they're not only my employer, but they're also my alma mater. And I am currently pursuing a PhD in educational leadership. So I love to continue. I'm a lifelong learner. I love to continue learning, whether it be in discussions like this or attending conferences, all of those things. We were just talking about our mutual friend Nadav and the great work that he does with Tabit at the National Restaurant Association, and they've been a partner of ours for the past 5 years as well. So love to learn from them. So
Thank you.
it's
Thank you.
an awesome to be here.
Okay, thank you. Fred, how do
Hi.
you feel being the person who says hello after the Beatles were just on Ed Sullivan?
Exactly. I'm Fred Klashman. I'm the editor and publisher of Total Food Service. Looking forward to talking to John.
Okay. Uh, so I have a big question to ask.
Sure.
Why Florida International University? Why should someone who's in high school or considering changing jobs or wants to join the field of culinary arts, why should they pick FIU?
Well, I think first of all, we one of our core values is really experiential education. So, myself personally, I love the 2 years that I attended culinary school because it was very active for me, right? You're in a kitchen, you're cooking, you're eating the food. So we believe very much learn by doing, not only out of a textbook. I mean, we teach traditional classes as well, but the culinary classes that I teach are all lab based. And so we're giving students experiences not only in the classroom, but also, and this is where I think FIU really does an amazing job outside the classroom. We are We've been associated with the South Beach Wine and Food Festival for the we just celebrated our 25th year doing that festival. And so it's the largest food and wine festival in the country. It's held on South Beach. They have more than 1,200 of our students over a 4 day full schedule of food and wine events. Our students support those events in any capacity from culinary to uh, event support to logistics We have a green team, which focuses on sustainability, which is we just started literally like 2 or 3 years ago, and that's been very popular. So any of the food that potentially could be wasted goes to a local mission, which is wonderful.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
So experiential, it's stuff like that where students are in the classroom, but our classroom is on the beach for 4 days. So
Can't
that's
hurt.
pretty cool.
It can't hurt. So let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
So the students that go there, did they get a certificate, an associate's, a bachelor's? What's their designation when they come out?
So we have both a bachelor's degree, and students can get it in a general track of just hospitality, or they can specialize in culinary food and beverage, hotels, cruise lines, events management, travel and tourism.
Mhm.
So the bachelor's degree has specializations. We also offer a master's degree. There mega events. We have a real estate program. So as you both know, important
Sure.
the old adage of location, location, location. There is an educational focus on teaching our students that are interested in that the really important business of selection and development of real estate.
So I'm curious,
Yeah,
when you're in a market, when you're in a market like South Florida, where there are so many jobs and so much need for staff,
yeah.
how does that impact curriculum? How does that impact expectation of students? In other words, yeah, I think of all the markets in the world, I think you're in the most unique hospitality and culinary market that there is.
Could not be more true, Fred.
Yeah.
Could not be more true. And we are very fortunate to have an executive advisory board made up of over a dozen individuals that are leaders in their respective fields. All of those areas that I mentioned, we have we have expertise in those areas that guide our program and our curriculum. And just recently, we you would think uh, with us being the cruise capital of the world that we had um, a stronger cruise program in the past. Um, we have not, but we have made that this past year a core piece, a core pillar for what we're going to be doing moving forward. So, and cruising as the cruise capital of the world, we have partnerships with Carnival. One of their executives sits on that executive advisory board. We do work with Royal Caribbean. We do hospitality at sea cruises where students experience. I mentioned the South Beach Wine and Food Festival where the classroom is the beach. The classroom for this study abroad is literally on a cruise ship. And so we're looking at doing some more stuff with Virgin Voyages. Uh, and we've hired a lead for that program, our cruise line program here. So look for more stuff from us. If you're interested in cruise line operations, any aspect of it, we're going to be the best place to go for that.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So give me, I know by year, their days are different. Give me a freshman comes to you. Give me a picture of that freshman's day on day one when they come in, and day one through day whatever it is in this semester.
Well, I think you both know like first impressions are so important. So before they even se- set foot in a classroom, we have a freshman pinning ceremony that welcomes them to campus. So we have a reception, food and beverage. Uh, they get a chance to meet all of the faculty. So the faculty are required to be there. They do brief introductions because there's 20, 30 of us. And so then they get a chance to interact with us, break bread, meet their families. So I've met students' families at these events, and they're actually connected with me on social media, uh, which is really interesting. And then you build relationships from that first impression. So the first day, before they even sit in the classroom, they're meeting us, they're experiencing our food and beverage because our culinary club caters the food for that our student culinary club caters the food. We have several beverage clubs. There's a bartenders guild, uh, there's a coffee guild, and a wine guild. For the first event, that freshman pinning ceremony, we're serving coffee drinks, and then we're also serving zero proof cocktails, in addition to the food that the culinary club caters. So they're exposed to all of these different things there at that first day. Their day at school. Uh, we've got a huge campus, but our building, the hospitality management building, is uh, very self-contained. We have a great advising team that supports students. We have a great career team that helps them get jobs locally in this awesome market. And then the faculty are all very engaged. So being present from that first impression, I think goes a really long way.
So, in the culinary school and the hospitality school, what is the ratio between hands-on learning and classroom learning?
So we have a culinary program here. We do not offer a culinary degree, as I mentioned. It's a broad hospitality management degree. Every single student that comes here must go through a core culinary class that's required, whether you're pursuing travel and tourism, events, your hotels, you got to go through, I always say you got to go through me, whether it's me or one of my adjunct professors or anyone on the food and beverage team. Um, so to answer your question more specifically, if you're in the culinary food and beverage track, then the amount of class time that you have in culinary world probably represents close to 50% of your time.
Mhm.
Any other student has the opportunity to take culinary classes as electives, and we get a lot of classes as electives. I I have students coming in from the business school or communications or nutrition dietetics wanting to take some of our food and beverage classes. So, uh,
So what was the thought behind not having a dedicated culinary program, especially with you coming out of the CIA? Is it that
well,
culinary is at the center, or culinary is a piece of what you need to succeed? What's the talk a little bit about that?
Fred, you bring up an important point because what you've seen, at least locally, is that culinary schools have struggled. Culinary schools have struggled. Uh, Cordon Bleu closed. I didn't teach there. I taught at the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale before I joined FIU.
Yeah,
That closed.
yeah.
The North Miami Johnson and Wales campus, which I did teach at as well, that campus closed. So culinary education, I think while hospitality has moved forward in changing with the times, I think there are aspects of culinary school, two aspects of culinary school that I think it make it more challenging to attend the length of the program, a 2-year program. When I went to school, I think it was very foundational and it was very expensive. So those two things, the length of the time for the program and the,
Yeah.
and the expense, put students in a lot of debt. And I think many many high school students are looking at, if they're interested in culinary, maybe they just go get a job and do some part-time schoolwork. I think there is.
And there's also a significant amount of competition in the community college world with
Yeah,
programs as
yeah.
well.
And we've got some great
Yeah.
locally, we've got some great technical technical schools that do
Mhm.
teach culinary that are great feeders for our program. I have really great relationships with all of those instructors and faculty at those technical schools. Um, we've had discussions internally about the potential to do something, and so I won't discount anything yet. But at the moment, we're focused. We're a hospitality school focused on hospitality. Culinary is an integral part of that program.
John, the
So
other
let me
thing
get this straight. Hold on, Fred.
go
Hold
ahead,
on,
Larry.
Fred. Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
So, and just to clarify it in my head, basically what you're doing is training the managers at every level that go into culinary and hospitality in the future. Is that what
Yes.
I'm?
Yeah, we're the future leaders in hospitality, the people that will be making all of the decisions, sometimes on their own, sometimes hand in hand with a chef. Some of our students do want to be chefs, and do come to us with some culinary training. Uh, have graduated from a Johnson Wales or a CIA, and um, they're pursuing more seriously the management aspect of it because they want to do more in their career than be a chef. When I was at CIA, I knew I loved cooking, but I knew that that wasn't the end career path for me. And it has, it's been a wonderful, wonderful business, but I haven't been an executive chef all my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've done
So
many
So,
things.
go
Chef,
ahead.
one of the things that came up as Larry and I have done this series, which kind
Yes,
of surprised me,
yes.
is there's a discussion of kitchen burnout.
Oh
That
yeah,
if you do go down the road of spending the money on a culinary education and then you go to work in it, and 5 years later you've been beaten to death,
yeah.
in the back. I mean, do you see that as something that's real? And so that's why some of the other opportunities educationally make sense.
Yeah, Fred, you hit the nail on the head. I think it is very challenging to work the long hours that chefs have traditionally worked. And, those that are passionate about it, just, work nonstop. Eating standing up. I spoke with a chef at a conference they that was talking about their earlier part of their career where they were sleeping in booths at the restaurants and then the sous chef coming in and waking them up. Um, the, today's students, I think, face more challenges with stress and all of the potential things that are impacting their lives a lot more so than when I went to school. And I think that's a good reason why you're seeing this generation look at other things that are less stressful. And so what can we do as an industry, as educators to number one, bring that to bear, to bring that awareness to bear, because
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still in its infancy stages of awareness that there's an issue with mental health and stress in our business, and then how can we make the actual work better? I think that's really important. I love what I do. I
So,
love this business.
so let me add again. So basically, we speak to a lot of schools, and the average freshman or first person that comes in wants to learn the art of culinary. You, in turn, are teaching the business of culinary. You are
Yes.
preparing these students to manage. We hear all the time of the chef who can't price out a dish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
You
How much
start with
strawberries cost rather than how do I
right.
cut them? Yeah.
Yeah,
You basically prepare that side so that your graduates are businessmen, businesswomen,
yeah.
as opposed to artistes. And And that is very, very refreshing because it's
Yeah.
usually the other way. They come out and they think they're going to be the next Gordon Ramsay on
Yeah.
TV, and they find out there's only one Gordon Ramsay. There's only one Jamie Oliver. There's only one, of any of those people,
Yeah.
where there are so many people making money running businesses. Um,
Yeah.
Kudos
Yeah.
to coming to reality.
Well, I think one of the things that if FIU was to develop its own culinary program, I'm a big believer in in realistic expectations, and given the challenges we've had with labor in all food and beverage, uh, what's taught in culinary schools, and this would be I my lesson to the other culinary schools is they teach everything from scratch on that scale of scratch to opening up a can or a freezer. I think there's some middle ground there for students to learn. And what I teach them is, yes, some things are really wonderful, and you need to know how to break down a whole chicken and how to make a fresh sauce or make a fresh stock. But oh, by the way, you don't need to make necessarily fresh pasta all the time unless you're an Italian restaurant that's making fresh pasta all the time. A dried pasta, particularly from high quality companies, has infinite possibilities, and the sauce that you put in it. Par baked breads. So there is. I always think that there's some middle ground.
Okay.
So the next step along those lines is, where does potential automation and robotics fit, and how does that impact this next generation of leaders that you're training?
Yeah, I think that's a great question as well, Fred. We you're seeing more, and you saw a lot at the National Restaurant Association show. Uh, I think there's two aspects of it. In the kitchen, right? There's the automation piece for on the vending side. I see vending machines now putting
Well, like
different.
like the fry line in particular is the piece that's
Yeah,
under attack right now.
yeah, and flipping burgers and
Right,
dropping baskets of fries.
right.
I certainly see that that's for the chain restaurants. I certainly see that as something that they're going to have to deal with. But at the end of the day, people still want personal interaction.
Mhm.
The ordering, less so on the robotic side, but more so on the tech and the AI with touch kiosks, ordering kiosks, automated apps, those kind of things. I think if any business that doesn't have an app or some way to do third party ordering, whether it be through one of the third party providers or some way on their own, they're doing themselves a disservice. COVID shifted everything towards to go, and those restaurants that flexed and adapted to that, and I think we're the ones that survived and are successful now.
Which really means food production versus traditional hospitality in a lot of ways.
Yeah, yeah. And on the front of house side, I do see, we have a talk about experiential learning. We have a huge tech conference. We're bringing all of hospitality tech companies here and talking about tech and talking about AI. In addition to the cruise lines, that is one of our other pillars at the university, is technology and AI and how we can use it responsibly and effectively. The data that we show that we see is that, and thank goodness that the hospitality industry and our jobs are are the ones that will be least affected with AI taking over, uh, and looking at it to enhance the business, not take away.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing it back to the individual, the person that's coming to your school, This seems like a great opportunity for the entrepreneurial spirited person
And
who, I want to learn all this, but I don't want to work for anybody. I want my own business.
yeah,
How do you work with those entrepreneurial people that although you're working in a group, it's me, 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 me.
yeah,
I have to learn this.
yeah.
Hmm.
We've touched on the first two pillars, cruise line industries and technology and AI. Our third pillar, culturally at the school, is entrepreneurship. We've got classes, uh, we have classes dedicated to restaurant development, and that take you from start to finish. And it's not taught by me because I've never owned a restaurant. It's taught by one of our alumni, uh, Matt Kusher. He has, Professor Cush. Give him a plug as several restaurants in Cush Hospitality Group down here in South Florida, and he comes and he teaches our students restaurant development from somebody that's doing it every day that has had several concepts that have been really, really successful. A handful that maybe were less successful, but able to share those lessons directly with students that want to do their own thing. And one of our other students has just started is successful doing food truck. Doing her and her husband are doing a food truck, and so talking with them more recently about maybe having them teach something along those lines on entrepreneurship of owning a food truck.
So have we missed a pillar?
No, those are the three. And all just topically. I swear to your audience that we did not that I asked what questions would be asked, and we're just going to have a conversation. And so, coincidentally, we
Okay.
just touched on all three. So
Well,
kudos.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But here's something that's not wonderful.
Okay, tell me.
Time is our enemy, as it always is.
Mm,
And before we wrap this up and you give that pearl of wisdom that everybody's waiting for, let me thank the people who paid our bills today. Ed Flanagan and the Era Group. Listen, you get those orders 10, 15, 20 boxes come in. The guy hands you an invoice. You look at the invoice, you count the invoice, you count the lines, you count the boxes. The order is good. That's not true. You have to see what's inside, but you don't have time. Well, if you don't have that time, call Ed Flanagan and the Era Group. His people will sift through your invoices, sift through your contracts, make sure you're getting what you ordered and paying the price that you said you'd pay. So if you're a little skeptical about what's going through through that door in the back, call Ed Flanagan and the Era Group. Their people will be there to help you. Florida International, what a great place. I just I wish I could hack 50 years off my life and go back and do it again. I'm one of those experiential learning people, as Fred has painfully learned over the years. Um, Before we go, give us that one little tidbit of information that'll make people think of Florida International when they're thinking of where next.
sure, sure. I would say for me, and I've been saying this a lot lately, we're just doing really cool things at FIU. And whether it's the South Beach Wine and Food Festival, whether it's the hospitality at sea cruises study abroad. We did something with Guy Fieri recently and his food rescue, his disaster relief team. We're just doing really cool things, and if you want to do really cool things at the number one rated ranked hospitality program in the state of Florida, third in the U.S., come to FIU.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Fred, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I think what John and his team have done is have taken advantage of this incredible market of South Florida and have built a dynamic, energetic program that is a direct connect with the market that they're in.
Yeah.
You know?
The impression I get is they have one ear listening to education and what's going on, and they have the other ear on the railroad track because there's a train coming.
Mhm.
And unless you're ready for that train, you're going to get your head squished. And this is, I'm charged for the rest of the day. This has been fantastic. So listen, we're going to be back again tomorrow with another story. But until then, I only have two things to say. Everybody, stay positive, test negative, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.
Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Thank
Shep.
you. Thank you.